we're taking a look at basic constructions. Okay, so constructing different shapes. So you guys are kind of just following along. Again, we're not really going to do these constructions by hand. Okay, but you need to know the process of doing these shapes and constructions. So the first one's constructing a congruent line. Okay, so constructing a congruent line segment. Okay. So first thing, and again, there's steps given for each one of these. Okay? So there's steps given for each one. So first thing, draw a ray longer than the original segment. So here's our original segment. Okay? We're going to draw a ray larger than it and label the endpoint. So we're going to put a point. Okay? And again, sometimes they may tell you make a segment XY congruent to AB. We're just going to do, I'm just going to do A prime in this case. Okay? So that's A and A prime representing of each other. Okay? So to do this, I'm going to use my compass now. Okay, so I'm going to use my compass. I'm going to put the point on one end, and I'm going to stretch it out to the other side. Maybe. There we go. Nope. So, and I forgot to finish my ray. So I'm going to have my ray here. So from point A, my ray is coming out, again longer than the original. So once I measure this length with my compass, I'm just moving it down, putting it on this point. Oh no. It moved. So putting it on this point. And making my mark with my compass. Okay? So then at this point, is point B prime. So here AB is the same, A prime, B prime is the same as AB. Okay? So, congruent line segment. Okay, again, we're just looking at the process and the steps needed here. So now a congruent angle. Okay? So a congruent angle. So again, so draw a ray, label the endpoint. Okay? So I'm going to label it something different this time. I'm going to label this M. Okay, so point M. And again, I'm going to draw this ray coming off of point M. And it doesn't matter which way it's pointing. Okay. So step 2, draw an arc intersecting both sides of the original. So angle B. So draw an arc. And again, this is where we're going to use our compass. And I think it's easier for using my mouse. So put the tip again, it needs to intersect both sides. So here, across, and then we're going to do the same thing on the new angle. So making this arc across. Alright, so then it says So measure the arc distance on the original angle with the compass. So again, so now I'm going to go back to the original. And on this intersection points, okay, I'm going to put my compass. So here we can see on the two intersection points, and then I'm going to take the compass to the new angle. So on the one intersection point, I'm using it as my point, and then I'm going to draw the arc of the second one, and this should be my new point. Okay, and again I can draw my ray then through that point to duplicate my angle. Okay. So angle M and angle B are the same, both congruent. Okay.
What's that size in? Or an
Here, it's an M. Okay. All right, angle bisector. So cutting this angle in half. Okay. Grab my compass here. All right. So angle bisector starts out kind of the same way. Okay. So I'm going to take my compass and I'm putting it on the vertex. Okay, and again, this distance here, I can make it whatever I want as long as it's going to intersect both sides. Okay, so needle on the vertex, draw an arc through both sides. So arc here, and again, if you don't want to, you don't have to draw the whole thing. Arc here. So now I have two arcs equal distant from the vertex. Okay. So next I'm going to take this compass and move it to those marks. Okay, one on each side. Biggest thing is, again, the size doesn't matter of the compass as long as it's over halfway. Okay, so as long as it's over halfway, you're good. So over halfway, and I'm going to make a mark. Keep the same measure. Move to the other side. Make my mark. And where those two intersect, is where that last ray comes, the bisector comes in. So right through that intersection point. So these two angles here should be congruent to each other then. Okay? Questions on that? Alright. Perpendicular bisector is very similar to what we just did. Okay. So it's kind of that second part. So again, put your needle on either side, doesn't matter which side. Okay, so your compass is going to go past half. Okay, you're just estimating that. If it doesn't go past half, it's not going to intersect. Okay, so move the compass past half, and again, you're going to make these marks here. Okay, if you want to go all the way down through, you can, but you don't have to. keep the same measure and flip it from the other side. Same thing. Oops. Now I'm looking for this intersection point. And again, I can then draw a line through the two intersection points. Okay? And it splits that line or bisects this line if I make this point C. AC is congruent to CB then, bisecting that in half. Okay? So again, compass goes past half, make your marks, top and bottom. Same thing on the other side, top and bottom. Where they intersect is your bisector. No, as hard as what you think at first. Okay. Okay. All right. One last thing here to talk about. Okay. One last thing to talk about. So they want us to make a triangle with sides measuring 2, 3, and 7. Okay. So I'm going to pull up this ruler here and drag it down. So my first measure is going to be 7. We're going to start with the big measure here. I'm going to make a line segment 7 inches. So from 0 to 7. Okay? And then I have 2 and 3. So I'm going to change my ruler here. Hopefully I can change it. So here's 3 inches. Oh, maybe. And then if I flip this over, what do you notice though? Do you notice anything? Well, I'm making a triangle. If I go 2 inches, can I reach that other side? No. Okay? So, when you look at these triangle dimensions, okay, these two values here, right, have to be greater than this third. Okay? So if I take 2 plus 3, I only get 5. Okay? These two sides have to be bigger than the third side. So if I add the two sides, it has to be bigger than the third. Okay? And you really only have to look at the two small sides. Okay? So 2 and 3, add to 5. 5 is not bigger than 7, so I can't make a triangle with those three sides. Okay? Because as you can see, if I connected these up, I have a gap in my triangle. Right?
What do you do if it's not?
It can't make a triangle. That's all they're asking you. That's what they're going to ask you. Okay? So, if I had 2, 3, and 7, can I make a triangle with these three values? No. Okay? How do you know that? Because if I add 2 and 3 together, I only get 5, and it has to be bigger than 7 to be able to connect them. Okay? Now, 4, 5, and 7. Can I make a triangle with 4, 5, and 7? Yeah, because if I add 4 and 5 together, I get 9. Well, 9's bigger than 7. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. So, on this last question, that's what they're going to talk to you about, ask you about, being able to draw a triangle with the 3 values given. Okay?